Leeds, Leeds.
Is Farke's job at risk? Sounds absolutely bizarre. I've seen a lot of people talking about it since the game on Saturday. It does seem wild. Second, still in hunt for autos, still in hunt for title. Let's be fair. Everything can change with a good result at Luton. You know, the positivity can soon come back. Let's hope he gets his selection right. But it is an interesting talking point. You look at the form; it's sort of gone out the window. To sack someone when you're second, third, if that's where we end up on Saturday, which could happen if we lose or drop points and Burnley win, it'd be the best job to walk into for any manager. You normally take over a side, don't you, towards bottom of the table. And I think it's crazy talk right now, I do. But it's interesting, if we drop points at Luton, if we drop points at Borough, and the slide goes from being 5 games to 7 games with only 1 win, when do they push the button? Because sometimes, I've said before, it can go stale, and I feel like Leeds United at the minute's stale right now as we speak now on Wednesday. It feels stale. It feels they need an injection of something, whether it's, a new voice, what another manager would bring, which I don't think's needed yet. I think that's a little extreme, but Farke needs to do something to turn the tide, because it's only going one way currently. Do I think if we win on Saturday and stop the rot, is that the end of the rot? I genuinely do. I think if we win Saturday, we've stopped that momentum of bad form, and I think we turn it round. And I think if we win Saturday, I think we go up in autos, I do. If we drop points on Saturday, then it's looking very bleak. And even the most optimistic fan, which I am, this week's been my worst in terms of how negative I feel towards the current situation at Leeds United. But if we win on Saturday, it all turns, and I think momentum switches. It's just hard to imagine, it's not going up, and I don't even want to go there. But in terms of Farke's job, I think he's got 2 weeks to save it. I really do. 7 games left. I don't believe if we don't win in our next 2, I think he could go. And that's wild. And I'll get comments on here saying, but imagine now in 2 weeks' time, not 2 weeks, well, a week's time, we play Luton Saturday and we play Middlesbrough Tuesday. Imagine if we don't win either of them games. Even 2 draws, it's not enough. We will be behind them with a gap. The title would probably be gone with only 5 to go if we don't win in his next 2. You'd expect Sheffield United to obviously win a couple of them games, or at least one of them games, and it'd be looking very bleak, wouldn't it, from a Leeds United standpoint. So I don't think it's a talking point now as such, but looking ahead of the next 7 days, it's the biggest week in Leeds United season. It's the biggest week, it feels, in a long, long time, and the pressure is definitely there. It's telling. You can see his post-match comments after the game at the weekend were very telling. He's feeling pressure to come out and say 100% will be a Premier League side next season. He's told the boys that as well. That's fine. If you believe that, it's fine. It's quite robotic these days with how people speak to media. I love that. But why not say it on opening day? Why not say it 10 games ago? Why not say it when we're in the middle of that 17-game run? Because you don't normally say it. So it's really uncharacteristic to come out and say something like that in the heat of the moment when the fans are down. But I understand this, try to rally the troops, try to say we're still confident. Of course you should still be confident. We're Leeds United, we've got great players. The manager knows what it takes to get out of this division. But it felt the wrong time to sort of say that for me, and then to give last 2 days off. He's feeling the pressure no matter what anybody says, and it's on Farke now to make the right decisions. We've spoke about Melier. We know what needs to happen there. Darlow has to come in. There has to be some changes in those outfield players too. Nonto has to play, whether that's giving one at wingers a rest because Solomon and Dan James look knackered and they're out of form, which is the key part of this. They've probably been his best players this season, but they're out of form. Farke has to recognise when the purple patch of someone's form runs out, you've got to switch it up. You have to. There's no two ways about it. You've got to. It's not all about playing the best technical players or the best. It's about form. Rotating the players. You've got a good squad for that reason. People are injured. You've got to rotate it. But when people are out of form, you've got to treat it the same way. You've got to bring them out and let them get their legs back and go again. And I think Ramazani has had no minutes. How are you expecting him to come off at bench in impact games when we need it? The games are tight now. They're all going to be tight from now to the end of the season, in my opinion. That bench needs to be rotated more. And 2 games, Saturday, Tuesday, 2 games in 4 days. This is the perfect time to see some of those players get more minutes. And like I say, I do think Farke is under the most pressure he's been at Leeds United currently now, because we've been top for so long, played so well all season, yet find ourselves potentially struggling to make that top 2. So, will he get sacked? Not right now. In a week's time, come next Wednesday, if we don't win one of these next 2 games, it could be on cards, in my opinion. So yeah, anyways, let's see what my mate Callum thinks from LUFC Passion.
Hi guys, AFC Passion here. This is my opinion on Daniel Farke's job at risk. It is wild. It is, because of where we are on the table. We're still in the top two, luckily by a goal difference. And I think the result at the weekend has really got a lot of fans on that side of it, because of how much pressure it is to get to the Premier League this season. Second season, I think if we don't go up, the squad's going to be rampant taken through, and we're having to start again, and Farke will be gone ultimately. But no, at this point of the season, I think it is wild. I think he's won 5 Manager of the Month this season, been in a good run. But I think it is just massive pressure, whether you're wearing a Leeds United shirt or managing this club. The badge does weigh its pressure in whole, and I think it has got a lot of fans on that mindset of, is it time for him to go? Is he not quite there? Is it going to be like it was last season? Because I think in the playoffs, I think everyone has written off hope of it just because of the past. Watford, Derby, Southampton last season. So we've got no real hope in playoffs in fans' mind, which is ultimately not true, because we've still got a chance. But I think there is just pressure to get there in the automatic, and with Sheffield United and Burnley not looking like to stop winning, we're having to rely on ourselves, and the form we're in, we're not confident. But I do think he has got the capability. I know at times he hasn't showed his tactical inept in terms of being very stubborn. I think I've said personally in previous videos on my channel that I think he's running James Solomon into ground, and it's stubborn, not changing it. And same with Eli Melier. He's not changing it, and there's a massive demand for it, because we saw last season, up to when it got to February, Somerville and Rutter were running to the ground, and the goals and assists dried up from both of them because they were just both knackered because they didn't get rotated. And the same is starting to happen with Solomon and James. So I'm hoping that he's seen what Melier has basically done, that stubbornness to not defend him and make a change, because I think it needs to be for the, I think not only just good for the team, but good for himself mentally. It must be shot to pieces when it comes to confidence wise, and he needs to be changed. And the only person that will change him is Daniel Farke. Melier can keep getting the criticism, can keep getting the blame, but ultimately if the manager keeps picking him, it's his fault. But no, it is a crazy take. We're still in the top two. We're still with a good chance going up with 7 games to go, that is. We need to get behind the boys. And I think it's good, as many other fans have mentioned, that went on at Ellen Road this week, or for the past next few games, because at the end of the day, maybe we need that, because another mental thing is Ellen Road. When we're winning, it's a brilliant atmosphere. It's the best thing for a manager. It's brilliant, but when we are the way we are at the minute, it's not. But no, I think Farke has to turn it round. He has to, otherwise, like we've said, he is gone at the end of the season. If we go up, I think he'll get a chance. I do. I think he deserves that chance, and I think that's based on just based on the chance of him. What's it called? Getting us up and getting the reward of it. But no, it is crazy. It's wild, but I'm not surprised, because it's not the first time we've had it. And I think at certain times, season the badge of Leeds United has got pressures. If you like my take on this, please subscribe. Imagine Not Being Leeds.
Cheers, Callum. Make sure you go over and check out LAFC Passion, please, and give him a like and a subscribe. Much appreciated. Take care, guys.